Let us now discuss the expansion strategies. Let's first talk, why do companies adopt expansion? When the environment has an increased demand, there is an increased pace of activity, when the company feels that when they enhance their size over the market, they can take over their competitors, when their products are being accepted well by the customers, they have the right kind of technologies, and expansion will overall improve performance of the company. They can also take care of the scale of operations and utilize their experience curve of handling their products well in the market. That is when the companies can expand. Now let's say chocolate manufacturers. Chocolates in India were always for kids. And then Cadbury said, any occasion, kuch meetha ho jaye. Chocolate manufacturers launched sugar-free chocolates to target higher age groups. Cola companies launched zero-calorie drinks, Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi. Letter printing firms started desktop publishing. Biscuit manufacturers, they launched fiber-rich biscuits, sugar-free biscuits, digestive biscuits. These are all expansion strategies. Now, in terms of the terminology of strategies, expansion strategies are listed again under 4 categories: concentration, integration, diversification, and internationalization. In this video, I'm going to discuss the first 3. Now, concentration looks at when we are trying to converge our resources in terms of a specific customer group, to take care of a specific customer need, or look at specific alternate technologies. Concentration strategies are undertaken when the company is having a firm belief that expansion is worthwhile and the industry has a high potential for growth. The firm has to be very competent enough to undertake expansion in terms of capital resources, human resources, and all other allied things needed in terms of marketing, operations, logistics to take care of the expansion that they take place. Expansion is definitely a first preferred strategy when the company wants to grow. For expansion, let us look at the Ansoff matrix given by Igor Ansoff. He put the products and markets across 2 axes. Products on the x-axis, present products, new products, present market and new market. When we want to enhance our presence of the current products in the current markets that we are serving, it is market penetration. When we want to launch new products into the current markets that we are already serving and we are familiar with, is product development. When we launch our current products, the existing products, into new geographic areas and markets, it is market development. And the most difficult one is diversification. Altogether new products, altogether new markets. Market penetration, development and product development, which I discussed, in terms of which category of products and which category of markets do we try to see. The product matrix mix of Igor Ansoff enables us to understand these kind of product matrix strategies included in concentration. What are the advantages of concentration before we move to specific examples? Now, such kind of concentration strategies of product development, market development, and product development enable minimal organizational changes. They are less problematic. Managers are usually more familiar. Firm can master one or few businesses with in-depth knowledge. They can focus intensively on specific resources and creating specific conditions for a competitive advantage, and adopt systems and processes within the firm so that their past experience can be replicated for competitive advantage in terms of new markets or in developing new products for which they have the necessary technology. However, there are certain limitations. Sometimes all these product matrix strategies bring about obsolescence of the product. New technologies emerge that create threats. Sometimes these concentration also create inertia for the organization, a resistance to think beyond this matrix. Quite often, cash flow problems might emerge. Large cash flows may be required to build up assets when businesses mature, and the surplus of cash to be invested for absolute diversification becomes a necessity which is limited. Before I move to the integration strategies, let's take an example of market penetration. Ola was launched in Delhi. And when Ola wanted to penetrate the market more of Delhi, it launched its services more extensively, got many more cab drivers and aggregators to come onto the Ola portfolio to offer and serve as many customers as possible. When Ola did market development, then the same services Ola was providing in Delhi, it first moved to certain metro cities like Mumbai, Chennai, Hyderabad, Kolkata, Ahmedabad, which were like those cities which are, similar kind of demographics like Delhi. A lot of people who travel for work, people who would like to use such kind of transport to travel for daily travel. In the next phase of market development, Ola moved to tier 2 cities to expand the same services to more markets, new geographic areas. When it came to product development, you had to develop more products. So in the Ola portfolio, what did they do? They were offering Ola Go service that you book one cab and you travel alone or maybe 4 people, or you book an Ola Share. Then they launched Ola Prime or an Ola Sedan, bigger cars. XUVs, where you wanted to carry more luggage than could come probably in. So that was putting on more products. And of course, different charges for those products were also introduced. So this is market penetration, market development, product development. Let's look at diversification, new products and new markets. Now, in that case, when Ola wants to develop altogether new products and move to new markets. So let us say if Ola were to launch specific Ola cabs driven by women drivers, meant only for women staff of, let us say, the defense services, or for police officers, or for women in the army, air force and navy, or for the crew, for the airline crew, right? So these were where a lot of women of these category are involved. They move at different hours of the day, which could be odd hours at times. Let's say doctors, women doctors especially, right? So women cab drivers offering services for women. Now this would be diversification, altogether new product for an altogether kind of different market, different customer group. Now let's move to strategies of integration. Now integration can be either horizontal or vertical. Horizontal integration is when organization takes up similar kind of products at the same level of development, right? Which means it enhances its economies of scale, it enhances its market power, it enhances the differentiation of the product and replicates a business model to reduce industry rivalry. Now, the government prevents horizontal integration so long as it leads to creation of monopolies, right? Under the Restrictive Trade Practices Act, government does not permit horizontal integration beyond a level so that you do not become a monopolist in the specific market or economy. When, let's say, one bank takes over another bank, this is horizontal integration. Or when one bank collaborates with another bank to create a merger, a joint venture. That is integrating horizontally, same group of services. One bread manufacturer taking over another bread manufacturer, making a bigger company targeting to a bigger market. Vertical integration, when companies undertake activities to take over the sources of supply or sources of marketing of firm products. So vertical integration is up and down the value chain. Backward integration when we retreat towards taking control or ownership of sources of raw materials. Forward integration when we take the control or ownership of the distribution channels. Now, take for example a biscuit bread snacks manufacturing company when it takes over the ownership or control of the agricultural product supplies. That ways it is able to create greater control of the value chain to enhance its own economies of scale, a greater control over the market and streamlining its own manufacturing process, and also being able to raise entry barriers for the new competitors because it is able to get the cost advantage across the value chain and be in partnership with those value chain. The disadvantages of such an integration is that you have to manage multiple stages of value chain. Sometimes it creates excess capacity or even underutilization. Sometimes technology becomes obsolete and strategic flexibility. You are dependent upon outsiders. It also leads to sometimes mobility barriers. Horizontal integration again offers you economies of scale, better utilization of assets and a reduction in industry rivalry. The disadvantages being the size of the organization is enhanced, puts a lot of pressure for managerial processes. A long range of products is a challenge to manage. Sometimes value of the organization may not always be enhanced. Let's move to diversification. Diversification as a strategy, we said new products, new markets. Diversification can be related or concentric diversification. It can be unrelated or conglomerate diversification. Then why do we diversify? Companies diversify to minimize their risk, to capitalize upon capabilities, to minimize weaknesses and to be able to take benefits of opportunities present in the market. Sometimes it becomes mandatory to diversify because growth is restricted due to certain environmental factors. The synergies in terms of cost and tax can be utilized upon. The synergies of marketing power, distribution channels, operational synergies, utilization